Hello, YouTube land. This is Shannon, and I'm back. I'm here to touch base on a few things. I wanted to make a correction. I wanted to discuss the events or unevents of September 27th, 2011. And I also wanted to discuss with you a really great documentary that I saw that I'm going to share with you guys. So, I wanted to just touch base on the fact that I'm not a scientist. So, I know I've made a few mistakes in terms of, exact numbers or names. But I do know this stuff, and it can be really overwhelming, and I get really excited about it. So in my head, I'm like focusing on one thing when something else is not as important. So we all know that the dinosaurs did not become extinct 3,600 years ago. We all know that. I know that as well. That happened 65 million years ago. So just for those of you who need the exact facts, there you go. Yeah, I'm certainly no scientist. I'm here to share with you my beliefs and my findings stemming from an interest that developed when I started having all of those crazy dreams in the beginning of this past year. I believe that God was waking me up to start paying attention to the things that are happening around me. I believe that He was telling me to look at things differently, to look at things a little bit deeper, and to not simply take them as they're shown. I feel it's my job to keep an eye out on things and keep you people posted. And that's basically what I'm here for. Just want to share with you, what goes on in this little head of mine. I'd also like to address the events or non-events of September 27th. No huge disaster occurred, luckily. I know that for those of us that feel like we're on this thing and we have a piece of information that the masses don't have, we felt like we were onto something. That when certain alignments happened with ELEnin or Nibiru, when these certain alignments happened with this celestial object and our sun and our earth, that these massive earthquakes tended to happen. So we felt like, here, this thing is going to be the closest to us that it's ever been. So we were sure that something was going to happen. And there was no huge earthquake. Although there have been a lot of earthquakes recently, and we know, this is just the beginning of the earth kind of waking up and going through the earth changes. This is how it's showing up now. All these earthquakes that are happening, and the volcanoes that are close to eruption, and just the weather's becoming more extreme. So I do believe that there is something that's going to happen, like a larger event. And I felt like, okay, if this happens, then maybe this is kind of the proof that we need that we're not just nuts and we're onto something. But no huge earthquake happened, or crazy eclipse like people had predicted. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it all, but I think that for some time we're going to have a normal life for the most part. But I do think that at some point next year there's going to be a really large solar flare that is going to disrupt disrupt our life in that it will knock out our power grid all over. So that's just me saying, what I think. But I do think that there are going to be intermediate events that happen in between now and then. And we just have to, keep it pushing until then. So, when these solar flares happen, they tend to knock out power lines, and it messes with the electronics of how things operate over here on this earth. And so a lot of power outages have been to blame. The solar flares have been to blame for all of these power outages that people have been experiencing all over the world. And there's a website, I believe it's called OutageCentral.com, where you can go and check out all the power outages in our country if you want to keep an eye out for that type of thing. Also, there's a great website, a YouTuber by the name of Mr. Comet Watch. He has a website that's very useful. You can go and look at the stereo cameras and look at this object, ELEnin Nibiru. And you can check it out yourself. You are able to, he has links that you're able to see the planets and how they kind of operate their orbits. It's really cool. He also has a link where you can go and check out the sun, and you can check out the solar flares, the CMEs, and it's really a great website. And I believe it's mrcometwatch.com. So go there. Great resource. Also, this documentary that I found out about, I've been interested in all of this crazy madness for quite some time, since the beginning of this year. And this documentary by Major Ed Dames, he's a retired military intelligence officer. He has this documentary, and it's called The Killshot. And it's really quite interesting. And basically what he is saying, since 2003, he's been, I guess, predicting. I don't know if predicting is the right term for that, because he feels like he has proof through his way of researching and experimenting, and it's called remote viewing, and that's how he's able to get his information. And so it's not just random predictions that he thought of, or it's a bit more substantial than just thinking of or feeling like you have a prediction. He feels like he has facts. And he goes into great detail about a series of large solar flares that will ultimately affect Earth's surface when a very large celestial object will come close and take down Earth's magnetic fields, which will then allow the mass from the sun excuse me, it will allow the mass from the sun to come through and heat up Earth's atmosphere. So it's a really great documentary. I'd check it out. I will have the link right below so you can check out the first set of, well, there's 3 parts, and I will post the link to the first one. So that's kind of it for now, I think. Thanks for watching, and I've been reading some really great books, and I think that I will talk talk about them in my next video. Alright. Nice knowing ya. Oh yeah, here's a little tidbit of fun information. Since you're watching my videos, I'm assuming that that you're into all this stuff. And I thought it was interesting that 99% of all documented species are now extinct. That's a lot of species to be extinct. 99%. And also, in the past 540 million years, there have been 5 major events when over 50% of animal species died. So, I think we could be onto something. Who knows exactly the details of this thing? Solar flares definitely have a part in it. So, that's it for today. Thank you so much for staying tuned.